Have you been eyeing those gorgeous Hamburger Flyout menus, the ones that can hold images, text, or just about anything you want, and wishing you could build one for your Divi website? Well, today I'm going to show you how. So this is the menu I made that I'm going to show you how to build today. But by using this tutorial, you'll be able to create any layout that you want for your menu using the Divi Builder. So the first thing we need to do is go to our dashboard, and we're going to need to install a plugin. So we go down to plugins, and you can see that it's already been installed and activated here on my website, Pop-ups for Divi. But just so that you can see what the plugin looks like, I'm going to go through the steps. So I click Add Plugin, and I search up here for Pop-ups for Divi. This is the plugin that you want to choose and activate. Once that's active, you go down and hover over Divi and go over to Theme Builder. And you can see that this is my global header that I just showed you, but because I want to recreate that with you, I've added a new template here that's going to target a specific page called Flyout Menu. And that's the page we're going to be looking at with this custom header that we build. So I'm going to click Add Custom Header and then click Build Custom Header. Okay, and so we automatically get a section added here. So in this section, I'm going to build a row that's going to house the icon that is going to be our hamburger toggle to open up our pop-up menu. So I'm going to choose one column row here, and then I'm going to search for the icon module. Click on that, and I'm going to search for hamburger. Of course, you can use any of these icons, but I'm going to choose this one. And I'm going to go to the Design tab, click on Icon, and for now I'm going to change it to black. I do ultimately want it to be white, but because I don't have the header image behind it right now, it's going to be hard to see. So just so that you can see what's happening, I'm going to make it black right now, and I want to change the icon size to 50 pixels. Then I want to click on Alignment, and I want to make it float right. The last thing I need to do here is I'm going to click on Content, go down to Link, and I need to put a link in here that's going to interact with our pop-up menu so that when I do click on this icon, it'll open the pop-up menu. So this is what our link's going to look like. Hashtag pop-up menu. Okay, and then I click Save. And of course, we want to be constantly saving our page changes down here. So once I have that set up, I want to go to the settings for this row and change the spacing and sizing of the row. So I go to the Design tab, click on Sizing, and I want to make this a little wider. So I'm going to make it 93% and a max width 1920 pixels. Then I want to go to the spacing tab, and I'm going to make a padding of 10 pixels for the top, and I also want it to have 10 pixels on the bottom. So I'm just going to click this link here that just links the sizes to make them the same, the spacing to make it the same. And then I'm going to save that. And then one other thing I need to do here is I need to go to the settings for the section, click on Design, and I also want to change the padding on this section. So I want it to have 0 padding on the top and on the bottom. And the last thing we need to do in this section is go to the Advanced tab and go down to Position, and it's set to Relative, which is the standard position, but I want to make it fixed. And what that's going to do is allow it to have the header image of our first section on our website be behind it. So this is essentially going to just be on top of our header image. I also need to go back to the background. So I need to go to the Content tab, go to Background, and I need to click on this Transparent button so that it will be transparent. And then I save my changes, and of course save the changes I've made to the page. Then I need to add a new section, and this is going to be the section that has our menu in it. So I click on Add Section and I choose Regular. I'm going to insert a row with 4 columns. So the first thing I'm going to do is adjust some settings here in the section. So I'm going to click on it. And for this section, you can see that there's a new tab called Pop-Up. So when we install that plugin, it adds a new tab in the sections that says Pop-Up. So I want to click on that, click on General, and I want to click on this toggle. This is a pop-up. I want it to say yes. This is a pop-up. And the pop-up ID, we need to remember what we put as the link for our other section that houses our toggle icon. So we made it be pop-up menu. So right here, I'm going to put the ID as pop-up menu. Now I don't add the hashtag in front of it like I did for the link, just pop-up menu. And I also want to add a background color to this. So I go back to Content, click on Background, and I'm going to choose this nice taupe color. So now I'm going to start adding the modules that I want for my menu. So I go here to the first column, and I'm going to search for a text module. I want to add text that will be my links to the pages on my website. So I'm going to make this heading text. And I want to go to the Design tab and style it. So I go down to heading text. I want to change the font to Playfair Display. I want to make it in caps, change the color to black, and the heading text size to 48 pixels. Now I do want this to have a hover color because it's a link. So I'm going to hover over heading text color and click this arrow that gives us the option to add a hover state for this text. I've already chosen my color and I saved it. So I'm going to just click add color and Command V, paste it in. And that's my hover color. So now I do want to add a bottom border to this. So I click on border. I click on this bottom border icon. I'm going to make the bottom border width 1 pixel. Click on black, but I do want to change it to a light gray. So I'm just going to pull this circle here all the way up to get the light gray that I want. And save it. Now I do want to adjust the spacing a little bit as well because I want a little bit more space between the text and the border. So I'm going to add 13 pixels for the bottom padding. And I know that I'm going to be duplicating this module to add the rest of my page links. So I'm going to make a bottom margin of 15 pixels. And that's it for that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Now I'm going to duplicate this module 4 times. And I'm going to change these to the different pages that I have on my website. So this is going to be about, services, portfolio, and contact. Now I don't want this one to have a bottom border, so I'm just going to click on the Design tab here, go down to border, and make the bottom border width on this 0 pixels. And save that. Okay, so now that I've got that set up, I am going to leave this column here blank because I want to give some space between the text and the blurbs that I'm going to add over here. So click here and I'm going to search for blurb. Now I have to go back over here just to remind myself what I wrote. Services, Smart Design for Growing Brands. So my title is Services. Let me move this so we can see what we're doing. And this will say Smart Design for Growing Brands. Okay, and I want to adjust the styling of this text a little bit. So click the Design tab, go to Title Text, Title Font. I want to choose Playfair Display again, and black, and I want to change this to 27 pixels. Then I want to adjust the body text as well. I'd like to use Inter as the font. I'd like to make the body font weight light, black as well, and change this body text size to 17 pixels. Now I just need to add the image. So I go back to the Content tab, click on Image and Icon, click here and choose the image that I've uploaded. Or I can upload one if I hadn't uploaded it already. So I'm going to choose that, Upload Image. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now I want to make the same blurb here. Of course, it's going to have different image and text, but because it's going to be styled exactly the same, I'm just going to right click on this blurb, click Copy Module, right click on this plus sign here and click Paste Module. Now I just need to adjust this one and change the text and image. So I click on the settings. Again, I'm going to remind myself blog and where ideas meet action. Title is blog. Where ideas meet action. Okay, and then of course I need to change the image. And one thing I did forget to do is that I want to add a hover color to this title text as well. So I click back on the Design tab, go down to Title Text, and hover over Title Text Color, click on this arrow, click over here, click on Add Color, and paste it right in here. Okay, and now because I forgot to do that, to add the hover state for the text on this module, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to right click on the blurb module that has the correct settings, and I'm going to choose Copy Module Styles. Then I'm going to right click on this blurb and choose Paste Module Styles, and now this title text will have the same hover color as this one. And then I'm going to save all my changes. So now I'd like to add my logo to this menu. So I'm going to click and choose a new row. I'm going to search for the image icon, the image module. Click here and choose my logo. Now it's far too big, so I'm going to click on the Design tab here and adjust the sizing. So I'm maybe going to make the width maybe about 11%. That's good. I want the module alignment to be centered. And then I'm going to save that. Now I want this to be on top of all this content. So I'm just going to drag this row right above it. Okay. And then I want to adjust some spacing. I'd like there not to be so much spacing here. So I'm going to just pull this here. Okay. And now we've got our logo. I'm going to go ahead and save our changes again. Now I'd like to add some social media icons. So I'm going to make another row here. I'm going to choose the one column row, search for social media follow, and I'm going to adjust the styling for Facebook first. I click onto it and go to background. I'd like it to have a black background. Click on the design tab. I would like it to be a circle, so I need to change the border radius. I'm going to change it to 100 pixels. Then I'm going to click this back arrow and right click on Facebook, copy item styles, right click on X, and paste item styles. Now I want to add a couple more. So I'm going to duplicate this one, go into the settings and find the network that I want. Instagram. It does add its own background, so I have to click background again and click on black. I'm going to click the black arrow and I'd like to add one more. So I duplicate this again, go into the settings, click on network, choose another social network that I'd like to add, change the background color, and save. Now I do want this to be up at the top, so I'm going to drag this row up to the top as well. So as you can see, because I drag this up here, it pushes everything down when really I'd kind of like these social media icons to be aligned with the logo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this row in a position absolute so that it just always floats to the top and stays in the same position. So I click on the settings, I go to the advanced tab, down to position, and I click on absolute. And it is sticking completely to the side and I don't want that. So I'm going to adjust the horizontal offset. I also want it to be a little bit further down, so I adjust the vertical offset as well. And then I save that. So now we've added all the modules that we want to our custom menu. There's just a few last things we need to do before we exit the builder. So I'm going to go up to the section settings here, click on design, down to spacing, and I want to give it a top padding of 40 pixels just to pull everything up here a little bit. The other thing I want to do is give it some animation so that when you click on that hamburger and it opens up, it slides down. So I'm going to click slide here, and it's already set to down. And that's just going to give it a cool effect when you open it up. The very last thing we need to do is we need to change that hamburger icon from black to white. But as you can see, it looks like that section has disappeared, and that's just because we gave it fixed positioning. So it doesn't show up on our front end builder. So I'm going to go down here to the left corner and click on wireframe view. Now I can see everything. Here's our icon module. I'm going to click on it, click design, icon, and change that from black to white. And the other thing I want to do here that I did forget to do in the beginning is add a little bit of spacing on top, just so it sits nicely on top of our header image and isn't too close to the top of the screen. So I'm going to give it padding of 45 pixels. And I'm going to save that. All right, so now we get to see what it looks like on our page. So I am going to just click this back arrow here, exit out. It says all changes saved, and that's because I've been in and out of the builder, but you may need to click this to save your changes. I always just click it again in case. Now we're going to find the page I created. So I'm going to click Pages. I see Flyout menu. I'm going to click View here. And there it is, and there's our hamburger menu. And when we click on it, our menu slides down. Now, you can see that there's extra spacing on the side, that it's not full width, like the one I showed you in the beginning of the tutorial. Also, we need to style this exit button so that it's a little bit more prominent and easy to see. So I have some CSS that we're going to add now that's going to fix those things. So to add the CSS, I hover over my WordPress up here in the top left corner, and I go down to Theme Customizer, scroll down to the very last tab that says Additional CSS, and I've got it copied, so I'm going to just paste it in here and hit Publish. Now we're going to see what it looks like. And there you have it. A Flyout hamburger menu for your Divi website. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you'll enjoy using it on your WordPress websites.